Okay, now we're on the number 7, Downtown Business Association sponsorship request.
Good evening, council members again. Brad McIntyre, your Community Services Director and DBA Liaison. The item before you this evening is requesting that you review and discuss the DBA's sponsorship request from the city for the 2020 Christmas Stroll and the 2021 Summer Stroll. The sponsorship being requested for funding is $21,000 for direct funding and $3,800 for in-kind services, for a total of $24,800. At this time, I'm going to introduce our DBA President, Sandy Drown, to come up and address the council.
I just wanted to thank the mayor and council for your time this evening. I am Sandy Drown, currently the president of the Downtown Business Association, and I also own the Happy Viking on beautiful Plymouth Street. So I'm speaking to this PowerPoint. And so the funds for the 2020 Christmas Stroll and 21 Summer Stroll in the amount of $24,800. The funds for the 2020 Christmas Stroll only at this time was $12,400. And then limit the city's contribution to the $7,500 per event. And then, okay, these are your options, right? These are options. Oh, okay. So, can I tell you which one I like you to consider? No, just kidding. So.
Let me guess.
So that one at the top would be the one I should probably I'll read that one over. No, I'm just kidding. And then I guess those are your options. So, but I would like the first option. But anyhow, any questions you guys have in regards to? I know I filled out the application form. This is new. This is our second time filling out the application, and so I know you guys probably have already read it, but I don't know if you have any questions. But I'm open to questions at this point.
Through the mayor, thank you for being here. I'm curious as to the Christmas Stroll. It looks like they just carved the 24.8 in half. What would it actually be for the Christmas Stroll if we wanted to go ahead and make sure we funded that in this round? Is it any different than 12.4, or higher, lower?
So the Christmas Stroll, what we do have that is our challenge this year is we are going to have security. And so that's something that we don't normally do for the Christmas Stroll is security. And so we had to hire, usually we only do security when for the Summer Stroll because of our beer garden. But this year, because of COVID, we decided to hire security just to kind of help control. Typically, there's a lot of people that come down, and so we don't have as much vendors, but that was where a lot of it was, plus mask, sanitation for COVID, just to make sure that we're safe for the public.
I guess what I'm concerned about is 12.4 enough for the Christmas Stroll, given what you just shared with us?
Crystal, you might help me with that because I've. So to answer back to your question,
can you go up?
Budget, yeah, budget girl needs to go to the
budget girl
podium. I'd be interested, Crystal, what are specifically, because of COVID, the additional costs?
We have extra security.
So security is going to be enforcing what?
What we've done in the past, just as when we did our downtown marketplace, we hire extra security because we have them actually walking the street. And so if we have congregated people, we actually ask them to separate because due to COVID, we don't want large gatherings. So we hire them to come in, and generally in the past, due to the marketplace, we only had a 2 to 3 hour event. This is all day long. This is going to be like from 11 o'clock till 10 o'clock at night. Yes, we do have the stroll that ends at 8, but the people and the vendors are not off the street by then. So it's going to be from 11 o'clock till 10 o'clock at night. So that is going to be the additional security. We have water stations that we have to have set up. We have additional toilets. We have set up additional sanitation from the toilet company that is going to be set up as well. So those are additional costs that have already come in.
Are they limiting, you're trying to limit the capacity at all?
Well, we're limiting the vendors that are coming in, so the capacity, I really have no
Yeah,
take on that, but
right.
I've already sent out all the application and the stipulations for taking our vendors. I'm only doing every other spot to limit that 10 feet in between it, to limit the capacity of how many vendors we bring in.
Are you expecting more people, or do you know, any idea, your
I
thought?
have no idea.
No idea.
Yeah, I can't gauge that.
But yeah, we're bringing in additional restrooms.
Yes, just because of the fact that people, we do have to keep that line separated. We can't have people congregating at a bathroom. We can't have 20 people waiting in line for a bathroom or 20 people waiting in line to wash their hands when they're eating. We have to have that separation. I even have to have more tables and such because of that fact. I can't have them sitting and congregating, waiting for the food or waiting to go to the bathroom.
Thank you.
Back through the mayor. You're making an assumption, which I'm hope is correct, and I mean that I hope it's correct too, is that we'll be able to have a Christmas stroll. What's the contingency? I mean, how much are you going to forward pay if all of a sudden we move into another tier and Dr. Lou or public health or what have you, or the state even says, I'm sorry, no more events, I guess.
So we did in our application for that, because a lot of the times we have vendors that we have to prepay for, usually 6 months in advance. So we did have, we added into it that if there is something like COVID that happens again, where the state is requiring or our county is requiring for us to not have this event, that we would get our refund back. So we did put that in the application this year.
Okay. So I guess I'm going to go back to my original. I support the Christmas stroll. I certainly want to see it happen. I'm just concerned that the 12.4, based upon what you've just relayed to us, that may be enough, but it may not be enough, correct? It just looks like it got cut in half here in the staff's recommendation. And I don't know what the real number is for you.
So typically, if you go back to the application, let me just go back to the application, Mark.
In there.
So if you go back to the application, what we typically, the 7,500 is the cash, the monetary donation that you guys give to us.
Right.
And that's what always previously. We do have an in-kind that is for public works. The number that really is hard to gauge for us is police. And that is not an in-kind, that is where we have to pay, we get invoiced for it. I do know we work with Sergeant Slade, and so Crystal and I worked with him for the last 3 years, and we've been able to, with the working with him, is to help with the charges. So like getting people quicker off the street so that, when they clock off and our voices or invoices less, but they still have staffing stuff. So like typically $3,800 is per stroll is what we are charged. So, and we've noticed since we've taken over the last 3 years, it was about 2,500 and now it's about 35. And I know that with Sergeant Slade, he's talked about staffing issues, overtime, which is stuff that we, unfortunately, it just is what it is.
So final question for me for now anyway, then is your ask 12.4 and you'll walk away happy? Well, don't look at the top number right now, just like the Christmas stroll.
So our ask, just for the Christmas stroll, our ask, yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's more of a timing issue, just so you guys know. We're in the summer of 2021. We're kind of living here and now when it comes to numbers. That's why. But anyway, go ahead. Grace, you look like you have a question.
Thanks, Mayor. Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at, is that our finances, we really don't know exactly. I mean, we're looking that we have a surplus, but we also have a future that we really don't know financially where our city's going to be standing. But I just want to make sure that if the Stroll, which I adore, it's one of the best community, I think one of the best community events.
Got
It
voted
draws,
best, yeah.
yeah, it really draws from all over the community. So both of you ladies and the team and our city staff have done a tremendous job on this Stroll. I hope that it happens, and I'm glad that you have measures in place in case something changes and that you're prepared for that. I'm along with the vice mayor and the mayor, I think, is that if we want this to be successful, for you to be able to, 12,400 would cover those major expenses, because I wasn't sure, Crystal, because you said, yeah, well, we've had 7,500, but with these additional costs of sanitation stations, probably having some additional materials, if people don't have masks or stuff, you probably have some of those on hand, I'm guessing, right? So 12,400 would be a good number to get this done.
I think so.
You feel
Yeah.
good about that? And so that's not in addition, and I'm just want to get this clarified, in addition to the 3,800 in kind, or would, or would we add that 3,800 into the 12,400?
I think the 38's included in the 12.4, is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. I really want to say it's not, but
Well,
I saw
I
the
was
look, even
trying-
with masks
I
on,
know,
I
I
could
saw-
tell.
I saw that in there, but I
Yeah.
was trying to maybe.
Yeah. It's
It
included.
is included in the 24,000, but I was maybe suggesting that the in-kind, that we could, anyway, it's a wash.
And it is a little confusing, just so you guys know, the in-kind typically has never been in that 24, it's always been the 21, and then and so now it is, and so that's for Crystal and
Because you
I.
pay for that anyhow, anyway. It comes out of your overall total. So that's what I'm saying, that so in reality, maybe you're asking of us is that 12,400 plus the 3,800, which is.
No.
I know you're not, but wouldn't it be great? Because
It would be great, we
It
would
would be
love
great.
that.
I mean,
We would love that.
wouldn't it be great that we provide that? I'm just offering,
No.
if you're able to, because you're taking it out of your own budget at the end of the day. And you're doing a tremendous tourism attraction for families, a safe location. And this year, I think if people are going to have a really hard time, a distraction like that is safe and well put together in a partnership. And if we the city pitched in, 15,000 instead of 12,000, that might not be a bad investment in my point of view.
Excuse me, Mayor. So the 12,400 includes 10,500 in direct funding and 1,900 in in-kind services. And so I just want to clarify that that's the understanding, because the $1,900 pays for the in-kind is for Public Works to shut down the street. That's not for PD. As they mentioned, PD gets paid directly. And so I just want to make sure that we're all clear in terms of that's the recommendation.
Through the mayor.
Sorry. Thank you, Dan.
Well, I just want to clarify that 15,000 would be okay on my part.
Okay. Through the mayor. Thank you guys. And I just want to say thank you for thinking outside of the box, because I know you guys have put a heck of a lot of work into figuring out how to do this and do it in a safe manner. And as far as do we need it? Does it need to go forward? You better believe it. From the time that this stuff started, we said we have to look after not only the physical health, but the economic and the mental health of our community. And I can tell you, people are starving for something that's near normal. And this will be a huge shot for that. And back to the clarification, yes, the in-kind was the Public Works. Thank you, Ms. Langley, for bringing that up, because
Yeah, and sorry about
that's
on that. We're used to the whole, both strolls, so you guys broke it up and kind of threw us off.
Yeah, and this goes back to what we found out as we were going through last year, that had kind of just fallen through the wayside, and we've got to make sure that we're accounting for it properly. So back to the overall budget, and I know, Sandy, we had a brief conversation about this and working with you guys is, usually with the strolls, that adds to what you can do as the Downtown Business Association, other projects. This year, we're all in a very unique situation. We know that any profit margin is going to be less. We know that we're really trying to do the things we're doing for the overall well-being of our community and get us down the road further. Now, as you said earlier, 12.4 is what you're looking for now. I think that's a good guess as far as where we are at. And at the same time, we're like you with our budget at the city. We've had the reporting out through the close of the fiscal year 1920, and then we haven't even got the results yet for the first quarter of 2021. So I think that we need to go with what your recommendation is, the 12.4, including that in-kind as part of that. And hopefully we will be in a much better position economically, city-wise, financially, everything as we get into the summer. And we can look at that. But I do think we need to be prudent with our finances as well, because we've got a lot of unknowns. But I think 12.4 is a good investment for our community's mental health. So I think that's where we need to go.
Thank you. Manny, you have anything?
I'm just hoping we have it. We're gonna have it, correct, girls?
We're doing all we can. We just had that trick or treat the street, and that was a really great event.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, thank you for council that showed up and helped with the crosswalks.
It was very good. Thank you for that. Did you have something else, sir?
Nope, I'm ready.
All right. Oh, you're good? All right. Do we have any public comment on the item? Nothing in the room? Anything online?
There is one comment from Tony Curlin. Shouldn't the DBA submit an itemized list of all projected expenses before the council approves any expenditures? Seems to be rather vague at this point. Led the stroll, but
Yeah.
there's anything.
The application is public record. It's laid out pretty well in there.
And just to add, we do an annual report. The DBA does an annual report to the city. We're going to be doing that in the next couple of weeks. So we will have our budget included in that with it being itemized.
Okay, thank you. So no further public comment. We entertain a motion from council, please.
To the mayor,
Sir,
I'd like to do council's recommendation of funding the 2020 Christmas stroll for $12,400.
Second.
first and second to approve $12,400 to the DBA for the Christmas stroll. All those in favor signify by saying aye, please.
Aye.
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 And
I wanted
opposed?
15, but okay.
You're still an aye?
Still an aye with
Still an aye, all right. So
Still
we
an aye.
have unanimous approval. Thank you very much, ladies.